I just mentioned Riley Gaines. She is in our New York City studio. She is a friend of mine. She lives in here in Nashville, does a lot of work with OutKick as well. And right off the top, Riley, I know you've got a children's book, and we're going to ask about that. And you, I bet, have a copy that you can hold up and show people on video. But things just keep getting crazier in sports. And this week, Sage Steele, who you know well and I know well, shared a video talking about how many women who are on the LPGA Tour are afraid to speak out against a man who is trying to qualify to play on the LPGA Tour. Now, anyone who's ever golfed knows that they have women's tees and they have men's tees. Pretty well established. Men theoretically can hit the ball farther than women, although sometimes my tee shots do not go past the women's tee box. That is not always ideal for me. But, Riley, can you believe that things just keep getting crazier when it comes to men deciding to pretend to be women and try to win women's championships?
I would love, well, first of all, Clay, thank you so much for having me on. Look, I would love to say that I'm surprised, but truthfully, I'm not. We could predict that this is the direction that we're going to continue going while our leaders basically sit on their hands, whether that be leaders of the NCAA, whether that be leaders of now the LPGA, whether that be in corporate America, the Biden administration. They are sitting idly by and smiling, as are the women, right? We ask ourselves all the time, I hear it all the time, where are the feminists? Where are these women? They are sitting and applauding their own erasure. So I would love to say that I'm surprised, but truthfully, I think we can only predict that this continues going in the direction that we're going unless we have people willing to stand up to it.
Hey, Riley, it's Buck. I wonder on this, when you travel and you're making the case that you do and you're giving speeches with people in college and just open to the general public, is there anyone out there who is willing to publicly debate you on this issue? Is there a way that we could try to get somebody of some prominence in the pro-trans women against women athletes movement? Because I feel like this is one of those things where there's this belief that's out there, but it will never allow itself to be publicly challenged, right? So they'll just keep on taking shots at you from behind Twitter, or they'll mob you at a speech screaming things. Will anyone actually debate you? I really wonder about this.
Look, this will be my public call to Megan Rapinoe, to Keith Olbermann. Let's bring that guy into this. To Leah Thomas at that. I would love to debate this topic with any of those three individuals but I can tell you what their response would be. Really what their lack of response means. They know that their side, that their argument is not rooted in science. You know what happened to follow the science? It's not rooted in common sense or truth or logic or reasoning or lived experience, really. But our side is. So I will wait for the day for any of those three individuals, or really anyone on the other side of the aisle, to have that conversation, to have civil discourse, which is what our society is lacking on this issue and many others. I await for that.
Riley, you have an illustrious SEC swimming career, despite the fact that Keith Olbermann, who, by the way, the most devastating thing you've actually said about Keith Olbermann is that you had to ask your dad who he was, which I just picture Keith Olbermann curling up in the fetal position when he heard that. But you swam at the University of Kentucky. I just mentioned your dad, Brad Gaines. I think I'm correct in this, played football at Vanderbilt.
Correct.
And for people out there who remember 1980s SEC football, your dad was involved. He was a tight end at Vanderbilt, caught a pass, and Chucky Mullins, who played for Ole Miss, hit him, became paralyzed, and it's a iconic and also very sad story because Chucky Mullins ended up dying as a result of that hit. And many people out there who are SEC fans know about this. I bring it up for this reason. They made a documentary about it. When you spoke out against ESPN, honoring Leah Thomas as a Women's Athlete of the Year, what happened to ESPN when it comes to your dad's documentary about that hit between Brad Gaines, Chucky Mullins, that was so instrumental in striking a chord with so many football fans out there. What did ESPN do?
They removed it from their docket entirely, which is wild. You're right. The story between my dad and Chucky Mullins, of course, it's a very tragic one, but it's a story of hope. It's a story of overcoming adversity and these racial barriers that we see prevalent today, even in football press conferences and different things. It's an incredible, heart-touching, heartwarming story. But there was the tweet that it's my pinned tweet on my profile. It was something to the effect of, is Women's History Month. They're honoring Leah Thomas, the only woman, in air quotes there, the only woman they choose to honor in all of swimming for Women's History Month was a man. And so I spoke out about this and said, look, Leah Thomas is not brave or inspiring. This is a cheater, a narcissistic cheater at that. And if I was a woman working at ESPN, I would walk out. They didn't like that very much. And so that's been removed entirely. I think the 30 for 30 and SEC story is still maybe in their library, but it's not on their rotation anymore.
Do you think that
that's staggering. Think about, Buck, that they took her dad's documentary down because the daughter criticized them for honoring a man pretending to be a woman. I mean, that's just how venal these people are. To your point on who will take the other side, a lot of people privately will attack it. It's crazy.
Well, this is also why I wanted to ask her if, you operated in the sports world at the highest NCAA level of your sport. Do any of the people who actually compete, do they believe this? I mean, I just can't imagine if you're a young woman who, whether you're a swimmer or you're a track athlete or field hockey, whatever, and has worked so hard, wouldn't recognize that allowing some guy who's 6'4" to suddenly say, I'm a woman, and start throwing elbows in the pool during water polo practice, that's insane, right? Are there people, have you come across people that have competed at a high level who really truly believe that men don't have an advantage over women in sports? Does the brainwashing work well enough for that?
I don't think anyone believes that men don't have an advantage. There are certainly a very, very few who are willing to overlook that piece in hopes of being seen as kind and inclusive. But I will speak for the majority of especially elite female athletes in saying that we do see the harm and we do see the severity of allowing men into women's sports. Just like Sage said in her video that she made that you had briefly mentioned at the beginning of this segment, the amount of messages, just in this LPGA, just in this instance, the amount of messages I have received from these LPGA golfers who have either had to compete against Haley Davidson or will potentially have the opportunity moving forward to compete against Haley Davidson, who are appalled at what's going on. Some of them have told me stories about what this man has said to them, about their bodies. I mean, just really disturbing things. And these girls, Sage said it, they want to say something, but they're terrified. They don't want to have to make the sacrifice. They train so hard. They don't want to not compete. They're scared of the backlash. A lot of playing a professional sport, it's their source of income. They're barely getting by. And so these girls, they can't risk that for their family's sake.
Tell us about the book. The book is, let me make sure I get it right, Happy No Snakes Day. You can hold it up on video there, Riley. Bravebooks.com. For people out there who have kids and are looking for something to be able to share with them, what is the book about? What inspired you to write it? And why do you think kids out there and their parents would enjoy it?
Well, here's what I do know. Our society wants nothing more than to target our children with dangerous rhetoric, which is exactly why I partnered with Brave Books, so that our children know when they're being told lies and how to stand up against it with confidence. My book, Happy No Snakes Day, again, a part of Brave Books library, collection of libraries. It's really cool. A really cool thing they've done here. They have different authors each month. So it's a subscription service, which is really cool. And if you go to bravebooks.com and sign up for their subscription, you can get my book for free. But Happy No Snakes Day, it is about standing up for the truth, speaking the truth, even when, despite being afraid, the consequences and the fear of what might happen when you call out the hypocrisy and the lies and the deception and the manipulation that you see, doing the right thing is always the right thing. There's no compromise between right and wrong, and that is what my book Happy No Snakes Day is about.
Awesome stuff. You have done amazing work, Riley. Let you react to, I think we have the Sage Steele audio that we were referencing. It's like 40 seconds. Listen to this. I'll let you react to it, and then I encourage everybody to go buy that book.
You know, this whole transgender sports topic, one of the things I hear a lot of, why aren't these women standing up, these female athletes? I got a DM over the weekend from one LPGA golfer currently on the tour who is responding to the biological male who won a women's tournament last weekend, and she said, there's a lot of people on the tour that feel the same way, but they're scared of losing sponsors. And she said that that's the problem. They're struggling financially, either don't have a sponsor and are looking for one, or have a sponsor and are afraid that the sponsors are then going to dump them for standing up for their own sport. So I see that. I see the fear in these women. My question is, what can we do? What can we do to help them feel more secure, to help them financially maybe, so they can stand up?
Riley, you had a great answer. I seconded it. I saw that Seth Dillon at the Babylon Bee. I talked to Buck. He wants to do it too. I love this. You said if anybody decides not to golf against a man and they lose a sponsor, you, me, now multiple other people out there have said we'll help to defray and pick up whatever sponsorship costs you lose, which is, I think, one way to get female athletes to be more comfortable standing up because they don't have to worry about losing their ability to make a living.
Absolutely. What we're seeing, what we need to see really, is we have to incentivize doing the right thing, which is kind of a sad concept. It's sad that we have to do this, but we know what we're up against. And the risk and the threats, they're real. I've seen them. I've seen them play out in my own life. You know, my coach has seen them, people around me who support me, even for simply making a post on Instagram. People have lost their jobs for that. So the threats and the risk are real, but we have to incentivize doing the right thing. Like Sage mentioned, these girls are terrified. And so knowing they have people in their corner who are behind them 100%, that's encouraging. That's what I needed when I was competing. And so to be that person for those people, that's what this activism that I've undertaken, that's what it's about. So I am happy to do it. You as well. Megyn Kelly even. So, and I think we could crowdfund this, you know, get people to contribute, because people now more than ever are looking for ways to contribute, alternative ways that go against these companies and organizations and entities like the LPGA who don't represent their values. So highlighting that's what we need.
Riley Gaines, everybody. Riley, great work. Thanks so much for being here. What's the book again?
It is called Happy No Snakes Day, and you can find it on bravebooks.com.
Cool.